But you know what? I've been a little bit mean-spirited because as you can see, I'm the sexiest black twig you're ever gonna meet. I have never been chubby. I don't know what it means to have a nice, succulent, big belly. I have only had interactions with BBWs. I have never made love to a BBW. So allow me to call upon someone who is a person of size to educate the young minds on how stupid this dumbass woman is. Oh, Starsan!
Starsan.
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 Oh, Starsan's like
Starsan.
The Starsan.
Got Starsan in the building.
Tonight we are joined by the lovely Lady Starsan.
Hey, Lady Starsan, recognize you.
You are drawing. Stop. Time out. You are drawing Andrew Garfield, and I'm going to need you to start drawing Tobey Maguire. I'm going to need you to start drawing Tobey Maguire. I'm going to need you to start drawing Tobey Maguire. I saw that hairline. Start drawing Toby. I don't hear pen hitting paper. I saw that hairline. Hey, you thought you was slick. You was covering that shit.
You didn't know till just.
Because I wasn't even looking at the damn thing. I kept looking at me, and I just glanced over. And I see that ugly ass hairline. Like, this motherfucker.
I told you it wasn't a dildo.
Yeah, it is a dildo. Andrew Garfield is a dildo.
Excuse you? You guys, we did it! Thank you. 10,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I'm actually almost at 200 over. Don't mind if you hear a little bit of a sore throat. As many of you know, especially if you have been logging in and tuning into my Tuesday live streams, you'll know I've been babysitting my nieces and nephews fairly often the last few weeks. And I'm pretty sure one of the little demons brought home to me a cold. Joy. So when I asked you guys what you would like for a 10,000 follower thank you, half of you said you wanted to draw your life, and the other half wanted to ask me anything. So I'm doing both. So I got a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. And I wanted to reveal to you guys, if you saw in my little opening montage, what I started with and what I've begun with. I have a lot of people to thank, guys. I have first and foremost my friend Vanessa, as you know, is Gothix, and she was really the initial reason I did any of this, because I never got up in front of a camera like this. I pontificated at home, you know, or amongst my family and friends, but never on the public scale, not like this. And, you know, just everyone from Dangerous Rhetoric to Alan Roberts to my boy there, Leon. You've got Shagsworth and the entire crew from the Midweek Hump, Real Femme Sapien, Red Sings the Blues. And I just got so many more people, you know, Christian and Mikey and everyone else that has supported me. And the people that inspired me to really do the content that I'm doing. I've got Michelle McDaniel, my mistress of the cult, who has been just literally one of the most incredible people to meet and become friends with. Kiana Docharty, or Kiana. I think it's Kiana, actually. I think I've been saying her name wrong this whole time. Oops. And Blair White, who just, you know, becoming the enemy of her own people, not because she wanted to, but because she wanted to help them. And I think I'm, you know, obviously fat people are not a people, but I didn't like that a lot were speaking for me. And I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank my husband for just, you know, being so supportive, even when he's a pain in the ass. As you guys call him, Starman. And just overall, guys, you don't have any idea. I didn't think I'd be here. And so before I go off, and I might even answer, because I screenshot as many of the questions as I could collect. I don't want to answer something preemptively. But, so let's get right into them. Oh, the last thing I want to thank, my patrons. Guys, thank you. I know I am not that on top of my patron perks and anything, but you guys have been nothing but amazing. Your support helps me do this. Your support helps me to fund anything that I do for this, anything that I put into this room, anything that I put into my content creation. You help make happen. And I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough that you have so much confidence in what I do. And you like what I do so much that you're willing to do that for me. You guys are absolutely amazing. And that's why I thank you in every video, because without you guys, without any of you, from my patrons to my friends, everyone's interviewed me, everyone has supported me, everyone that has taken an interest in me, you know, I wouldn't be here. And so I just want to thank you guys. I really, really do. But on with the questions. I'm going to read these in no particular order. I am just going to read them as they came in. So it starts off with a really fun one. This is by Charlotte Madadi, and Charlotte is one of my longtime followers. I recognize her very well. She follows me on all the platforms. And her question is, do you like Tim Burton movies, aesthetics, or animations? Well, what do you think, Charlotte? I love Tim Burton. I am an elder emo. You know, I grew up in the age where Nightmare Before Christmas and Labyrinth were getting their renaissance. And when The Corpse Bride came out, and everybody was obsessed with The Corpse Bride when it came out. So yes, I absolutely love it. I think clay animation and stop motion animation is an art that should be kept up, despite the fact that, girl, it is so hard. It is a difficult talent. And I just think if you can do that, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Like, yes. Short answer, yes. Purple Honey, who is another, been following me for a long time, asked, what do you think of cartoons and TV shows now versus the 90s and 80s? And she goes on to say, when I look at the shows from then, there was a sort of wholesomeness to it. Also, I wonder, are you and your husband ever going to have kids? So I'm going to answer the first question. I think that in some ways, there are really cool portions of the shows of today. However, I do believe that most of them are dumbed down. I think that some of them have very intelligent comedy. Like, that's why I really started to enjoy My Little Pony at first, because actually they did try to insert in the first few seasons. They really tried to insert a lot to make it entertaining for the adults that were watching with their kids as well. But a lot of it now has an agenda, and that's my problem. So I do love them, but the problem is, just like how in the 80s a lot of shows were made to make toys. When you got in the late 80s to most of the 90s, all of it was designed to entertain. Toys were secondary. And now, toys and entertainment are secondary and like fifth place to what ideology, what message can we send? And that's my problem. Too many of these shows are trying to send a message, and I don't like that. On to the more difficult question. We had 3 children pass away. So in case any of you don't know, if you're relatively new, I suffer from infertility. My husband and I are also nearing 40. I don't know if you can tell today. I'm obviously a little more haggard because I'm catching a cold. But I'm 35, guys. I'm 5 from 40. If I do have any kids, they're going to be adopted. Or the Lord himself is going to bless me like, Mary. And so the chances were more like Sarah because I'm later in life. Either way, the point is, I will more than likely never have a baby on my own. And depending on how we are in the next few years, will be whether or not we adopt. We still would like to. I would love to adopt, but I want to make sure that we're the right family for it. And in this house currently, the way it is, it's not ready. But we do want to. So Sip of Iced Tea asked me, hi girl, what is your current fave animation? Ooh. Are we talking animation as in like animation style? Or are we talking like who's my favorite cartoon? If you want to judge me, I am a huge fan of Miraculous. Miraculous Ladybug! Yes, honestly, Spinky, because her name changes sometimes. Like, she did this amazing animation where it's like, Fuzzy Duck, Ducky Fuzz, does he fuck? Fuck, he does! And I was like, she's just got this, like, gorgeous animation. So, we're talking like that. Hers, follow her. She is so freaking talented, guys. So freaking talented. Jasmine Baker, who is a fellow artist, also super talented. Make sure you follow her. She does absolutely magical things with colored pencils, guys. She said, have you taught the dogs or cats any tricks? Yes. Absolutely, positively, yes. The cats used to know more tricks before we moved here and before I started working a lot more hours. Zorro used to sit and speak on command. I could even get him to do paw slightly. I used to have Axel sitting on command. Sometimes he still does it. Nova, because she used to be my problem child. I used to command her to go sit in timeout, and she would go and put herself in the room, and I would close the door behind her. So I did, for a time, have the cats and dogs trained like that. Now it's only the dogs. I do all my own training for the dogs, and I will say, not to toot my own horn, but I've gotten a lot of compliments for how well behaved my dogs are. They are not where I want them, especially you all know Orion is not where I want him, but yes. My dogs know, Orion knows, sit, lay down, sit pretty, stand pretty, wave, point, which means I make him point at the food or whatever he wants. I taught him touch, which he has to touch it. He knows the weight where I put the treat on his nose. He knows crawl, where he gets on the ground and he crawls over. Those are all of his most exotic ones. Greta knows all those. She won't do crawl. She knows roll over. She knows play dead. an angry face, which is Greta does not like to show that she didn't used to like to make any noise, and she'd make the cutest little like growling face. So I taught her on command when I want her to get a treat, angry face, and I go, "Rrr," and she'll growl back, and that's when she gets her treat. So yes, I have, in short answer. Okay, we got a long one here, and this is from Ashley, and she said, how do you project confidence in a plus-size body? I'm really struggling with it, and I am working on losing weight and have lost 25 pounds. Congratulations. But I still feel like a blob, and I'm always trying to hide myself. Like, I feel, why even try, to be honest? I really hope this question doesn't trigger or offend anyone. Ashley, if you know my channel, we don't concern ourselves with that. You're in charge of your own triggers. She's speaking strictly for herself. And then she says, congrats, 100K, here we come. Girl, let's get to 20 first, but yes, we want that. Honestly, and this may be an oversimplified answer, I just refuse to hate myself. I've had this question asked many times over the last 2 decades. I refuse to hate me. I refuse to. Everyone else hates me. That's the best way to put it. I've gotten a lot of hatred my whole life, guys. My whole life, I've gotten hatred for my opinions, for being white, for being fat, for existing, for being, too loud, for being too boisterous, for having too many animals, different things like that. I've had so many people hate on me for many reasons. And I decided actively I wasn't going to hate me. So when I walk out into the world, I wear what I know looks good on me. I never want to walk out looking like a slob. The few times that I had a reason. And usually it was an emergency, or someone last minute asked me to do something, and I'm like, I'm not putting on a bra for this. They are getting me in my powdered ass, pajama, no bra, crappy ass shoes. They're getting me at my worst. And usually I regret it afterwards. But even then, the problem is, and again, this could be body dysmorphia. For you, it could be a number of different things. But I recommend start with learning to love who you are, regardless of what's showing up in the mirror. And again, this is where I've told people before, that's what I thought body positivity was. That's what I was led to believe. That we were just trying to tell people to like themselves. Because in my personal opinion, it doesn't matter if you're a size 2 or a size 22. It doesn't matter if you have a gorgeous face, a normal face, or, let's be honest, in some cases, you're just going to have an ugly face. It doesn't matter. What matters is you have to like who you are and understand that that's the only you have. You will never have anything else. The one thing you are given from birth and the one thing you will have when you die is that body. Why would you spend your entire life hating it? That's how I see it. I could never spend my entire life hating the one constant. And so I don't. I love who I am, and I put it to my use. So I wear what's comfortable. I wear what fits my body shape. And I know that I look good in it because I make sure I look good in it. No matter how much or how little I weigh, I make sure that I look appropriate. My mother drilled that into my head, and I'm a firm believer in it. I was actually talking to my friend Vanessa about this, and I said I believe a lot of our degradation of society stemmed from casual Fridays first. We started normalizing dressing like slobs because we were trying to rail against the almost over dressing. That was very common, so I get that. But I think now we have to go back to dressing normal. I'm tired of seeing girls in full face makeup, spike heels, sweatpants, and messy buns. Moving on. I hope that helped, Ashley. Pink Dolphin Milk, one of my patrons, asked, would you be willing to do a get ready with me and tea, like makeup, which is always fine, you, and spicy things to spill like Bopo, Fat CPT, community, or just anecdotal things. Sorry that was long. Love your content. Guys, I don't know if I have anything that interesting. And my makeup doesn't take very long. My makeup is literally, I put on eyeliner and lipstick. See? Look. Ready? No makeup. I never put any, like, foundation on or anything like that. I use lotions. Lots of lotions. But that's it. By the way, don't mind me if you notice me looking this way. I have a new computer. As you saw, it's all rainbows and shiny and a big screen. And my tablet for drawing still doesn't work on it. But I love it so much. I might have... This is already annoying me, guys. I haven't had a sore throat in like a year and a half. Oh, I'm not cool with this. Oh. But to answer your question, I'd be willing to do it. I don't know if it'd be boring. We'll see. I always have tea I can spill. But the problem is a lot of the tea that I have to be careful because it's somebody's personal tea. And I like to keep my secrets, so we'll see. What made you start... Oh, I'm sorry. Olivia Hellman asked, what made you start a YouTube channel? So, if we want to get technical, the fact that YouTube existed made me want to start a channel. My channel, if you look at how old it is, it's like 16 years old. I started it only a couple of months after YouTube existed. As a matter of fact, the day I started it was the day I went out on my first date with my husband. And I don't even remember doing it that day. I can't believe that that's the day I did it because I know all the things I did that day. I didn't remember doing that day. So that was weird to me. It was the thing to do. Back then, social media was so new. You had AOL, you had MySpace, and then suddenly this platform comes out where you can just watch videos all the time. They have music on it. Memes were a whole new thing then. Viral wasn't even really a thing at the time. Like, I didn't even know how everyone was like, oh, that was viral on MySpace. How? Everything I knew about MySpace was very a la carte. You put it on your own, but who knows? So I started it that way. And I'd upload 1 or 2 videos. And then as time went on, I was like, how the hell do you even become a YouTuber? Like, how is that a thing? What do you just like... I didn't know how it worked at all. I had no idea about the metrics and how the system worked and none of that. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be a YouTuber or not. I always wanted to make a career out of my artwork, but no matter what I did, it didn't seem like people really liked my artwork. They would say it was nice, but nobody ever really wanted to purchase it or invest in it, if you will. So I was like, should I just put demos of how I draw on there? I was just trying to imitate what I saw. And when I got back into artwork in 2019, I again said to myself, well, should I? Shouldn't I? Who knows? And so what I ended up doing was I just went through the paces of work, as I've still been doing. And if any of you are followers of Gothix, you know exactly what went down with her and me and all that jazz. And when she asked me to be her assistant, I suddenly got a lot of the ins and outs. And suddenly I had people wanting my opinion. And I was still kind of like, And Gothix would say to me, she'd be like, you know, you can make your own videos. She very much encourages people to start their own empire and things like that. And when she said that, I was like, I don't know. Who knows? And then when we broke off, as a lot of folks still don't realize I'm not her assistant anymore. When we stopped, I didn't know what to do. There was a lot of things going on, and I was like, I tried to get my old job back, and then my boss, funny story. My boss, who was my manager at my old mattress company, she was like, don't worry, you're going to come right back in. You'll do any of the hours that you want. But like, we had a whole agreement. The day I went to go get the job, she got fired. Like, I'm on the way. She calls me. She goes, you can't come. I just got fired. I'm getting let out of the building. And I was like, what? And I was like, so that day, I sat down with my husband and I was like, a little voice told me to think this way. Whether you believe it or not, whether you believe in God or not, I believe God sends me signs. Okay? It's why I have 5 billion animals. It's why I am in this house. Like, if I told you guys the series of events that led to me being in this house, you might start to believe in God. It's all a little too coincidental. But I always pray, send me the signs for what I need. I was ready to go right back to selling mattresses. And he stopped me. And I said to him, my husband, I said, how do you feel about me trying to do the YouTube thing? I said, right now, I've got a small audience. I had like 185 subscribers. I'd only had 20 before that. And working with Vanessa, I gained that many. So I said, I don't know, maybe I can do it. At the time, I still had no idea what it took to get monetization, okay? Let's start with that. I had no idea. I assumed you just did it, you applied for it, boom. I made my first video, which was the Kyle Rittenhouse one, because the trial was going on. And I had about 5 others recorded, all about Bopo. And I just took a risk. And guys, like, that's it. It was kind of like a last act of desperation and following the signs. You can believe me, you can say I'm crazy, I don't care. I know what I know. And so, Miss Olivia, that is why I started doing what the current YouTube channel is. That's why I started. It was an act of desperation mixed with something told me to do it. And so I did. And here I am. This is Miss Taylor Weber, also amazing. Beautiful singing voice, has her own YouTube channel. Definitely check her out. And she asked, why am I so amazing? Oh, girl, stop. You. Listen, I'm just me. I don't think I'm amazing. But if you do, go on, keep saying it. I won't stop you. And then we have my suck up, Darkblaze435. The guy happened to get me this thing. How are you so incredibly beautiful? Aw, shuck. Thanks, honey. Black Cat, who also is a very talented artist, you definitely should check her out on Instagram, said, you and Leon, Mario Kart race, when? You tell me when, nephew. I got you. We ready. Belle Moon, another talented person. She's a ballerina. She's learning belly dancing. She does a lot of mental health. She's an author. Very talented young lady. She asked, what inspired you to start recording your videos? And what would you tell your past self as advice? Well, as you all heard, I just explained the videos portion. And what would I tell my past self? That's a good question. What would I tell my past self? I guess I would tell her, if anything, to stop worrying about everyone else so much. Focus on you. It's okay to be more selfish. Stop giving so much to people who are going to backstab you. And you're not as fat as you think you are. And you are more talented than you believe you are. And if you worked harder, you'd see it sooner. You know, self-doubt about things that shouldn't be that hard to self-doubt. It shouldn't be that easy to self-doubt. That was my problem. I spent a lot of my teen years worrying about helping out and dedicating my time to other people. And a lot of people still demand a lot of my time. And they get very frustrated and they get very mad at me when I don't give it. But I told a lot of folks the same thing. Since my mother passed away, and then Brandon, I just don't have the capacity to do for others like I used to. I still do help, but I just don't have it in me to sacrifice that much time anymore. Like, every Saturday and Sunday, I go to my dad's for dinner. And my dad thinks that I'm forcing myself. I worship that time because I have no idea how much more time I have with my family. And I don't sacrifice it for anything unless I'm forced to, usually by my dad. I go religiously, and I have been since 2019. And I don't want it to stop. So, there's that. I hope that answered, Belle. Love you, girl. Favorite anime? Don't do this to me. Groovy. Ooh. Oh, that's hard. See, I used to have that answer. Princess Tutu used to be it. I don't know if I have one. See, I am more, I read a lot more manga. Okay? So, I've had a hard time dealing with some dub. Sorry, Amanda. I have a hard time dealing with some dub actors. And, I still love you, Amanda. And then with the Japanese actors, their voices sometimes go right through me. And I don't enjoy reading the subtitles. I want to just enjoy the show and hear what's happening and absorb myself in. It takes me out. So I don't watch as much anime anymore as a result. The last one I watched was Yashahime. So I did get into that one. I love Card Captors. Like, I like a lot of the older ones. And right now I'm reading a lot of the manga that's on Webtoon and laramega.com, laramega.love. God, I can hear myself getting stuffier. I'm so sorry, guys. I promise I will rest my throat the rest of the week. There's no children to yell at. So I should be good for live streams, but still. But that's a hard question. I can't answer it right now. I have a very hard time with that. I'm sorry. Roundhog 1334 asked, dark milk or white chocolate? Yes. If I had to pick the one I'd eat the most, if it's quality, dark with salt and not too many tannins in it. I don't want it super bitter. But I do love my milk chocolate. And white chocolate. Yes, I know, Choco Hooligan. It's not technically chocolate. It just has milk solids and cacao solids in it. But still, there's Bublito. Congratulations, Grandma. Now, who's officially your favorite mod? Me or the other one? I has no favorites. My little Canadian fraud. You and the Sponge are my favorites together. Although I do have a lot more mods now, since I've been getting those sex bots. Next question. Wait, I have the answer. Make Moon a mod. And that's what I should be thanking, by the way. Moon, who has sent me a bajillion wonderful things. You're a great supporter as well, girl. I'm just putting that out there in the middle of all this. I love you. Dolphy E asks, what kind of phrases do you have on your shirts? Did you make some? I was trying to read some in your videos, but I couldn't see what did it. Well, Dolphy, I did not make them, but that shows you don't get to the end of my videos. Here's why. Those are made by the company that I work for, No System. So some of them say capitalists. Some of them have said base but not basic. Be curious. Oh gosh, I've worn so many. Memento Mori. Sometimes I wear the Gothix shirts because I gotta represent my girl. But yeah, go to No System, nosysnos.com. I should put it, let's see, right here. Check them out. I don't make them, but I might get shirts made eventually. I keep getting asked by my friends, am I considering making merch? But I don't get enough requests for it, so I feel like it'd be kind of dumb if I did. You guys tell me, if I made some shirts, if I made some Starson merch, would you want it? Let me know in the comments. Nuclear Beef asked, what is your favorite film and why? So just like the anime, I don't have a favorite. I have ones that I'll always watch. So honestly, my favorite Disney film is Beauty and the Beast. I love that. Stockholm Syndrome for life. No. And then my top favorites, movies that I'll watch whenever they're on. The Mummy. The good one, not the Tom Cruise one. Jurassic Park. Any of them. I don't care. I'll watch them all. I love dinosaurs. Independence Day. The Day After Tomorrow. Armageddon. Pretty much action films that contain romance and they're kind of a little funny. Those tend to be movies that I do go towards. But do you know what romance movie I love? That's one of the ones I love to bring up because I like that not a lot of people know about it. So there's two of them. The Truth About Cats and Dogs and French Kiss. Those are really good films too. But then I also like Ever After. Pretty much if Sandra Bullock, Meg Ryan, or Drew Barrymore, or Renee Zellweger, if they were the lead, I probably loved the movie. As long as it was a romance. I'm easy. Lizzie Hoynes says, what is your favorite color of eyeshadow and lipstick? Easy. Every time. Blue. I love it. I enjoy mixes. Like, I enjoy having, obviously, fall colors. Teal is something that I've been really falling in love with, obviously. And I wear shades of blue for my lips. But I also enjoy reds, blacks, grays. Gray lipstick is so underrated. A good, strong, dark gray lipstick. Love. Lucy E asked, and she's new to my channel, welcome. Can you tell the story about your collab with Michelle McDaniels? How did you two meet? So, to me, okay, so Michelle's and my friendship is one of the most organic things that's ever happened to me when it comes to internet friendships. So, I, during the pandemic, was, as one did on furlough, spent a lot of time on YouTube. I had gotten the YouTube Premium for free through T-Mobile, and I was enjoying the shit out of it. And I was on furlough. I was getting paid to do nothing, so I was cleaning the kitchen. I had just gotten through feeding the animals, and I forgot who I was watching. But she came up in the recommendation, and it said, my thoughts will probably offend you. And I went, bet. Let's see. Because I'm not easily offended. And I watched her. And I remember she was in that turkey cosplay. That's the first one I ever saw of her. She was in that, and I was like, this is not what I was expecting. And as time went on, I'm watching her videos. And I just, like I said, she did not offend me. I knew that there was things we wouldn't agree on. But I just started loving her. I loved her content. I loved listening to her. I loved her sass. I loved how funny she was. I loved that she was petty in some ways. And just so I started commenting. I wanted to match her energy. And one day, this was at the very beginning of me doing YouTube, I saw she had started liking my comments. But she likes a lot of comments. So I was like, oh, that's just her being nice to her followers. And then one day, again, this was at the beginning of me doing YouTube, working for Vanessa. She wrote, I always look forward to your comments. You are so funny. I was so happy. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. Like, it made me really happy because it was just like, you know, it was a connection. And I thought that was ridiculously sweet of her. And so I just thought it was fun to do this. I didn't think anything would happen of it. But I screenshot it and I put it on my stories on Instagram and I tagged her in it. And I wrote, when Senpai notices you. I immediately get a message. Oh, that's you? Because see, I had already sent her a message. I had sent her a message like a month prior. And it was a big ass long one. Telling how she inspired me and everything else. But she hadn't seen it. Now, newsflash, I'm going to tell everyone this. If you ever send Michelle a message, she is terrible at getting back to them. She'll tell you herself. It will take days, sometimes weeks, before you hear from her. But that's because this girl is going 20 miles an hour. No, lie. Well, for a human. Okay, 200 miles an hour. This girl is always doing something. She is busy, 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 busy. Okay? So she messages me and we start talking. And we talk about dogs and we talk about everything else. And we start going over stuff. And then she tells me she's actually watching my videos. I'm like, thank you. That's so nice. And then she says she wants me in a video. And that was just the coolest thing to be told that. She wanted me in a video. She didn't know if she wanted to do a video about me. She didn't know if she wanted to do a video featuring me. We went through many iterations of it. Many. And then as you guys saw, I became the fairy fat mother. And I love it. I think it's funny. It was a complete random thing that we did. It was very last minute because Michelle, her thought process on whatever she does, so quick. Like, she is a creative machine. She will come to you with an idea, and while we're discussing the idea, a new one pops up. She's a brilliant girl. When I tell you, there are people who I've met doing this, like Leon, and Della, and Shags, and Radio, and Horror Murata, and obviously, I've known Gothix for a long time. And I truly feel honored and blessed to call him friend. Because, you know, and especially Leon, he'll be like, fuck this shit. He may pretend, but he's actually a soft guy. And he's really kind. And to the right people, okay? He's not nice to everybody, but to the right people, he's nice. And I gotta say, it's just overall, I'm very blessed to call them friend. I'm very lucky to have them in my life. And if tomorrow I stop being a YouTuber, I still want them to be my friend because they're just cool people. I'm very lucky. Especially because I've met a lot of people, a lot of artists and friends who are very talented people. You know, I've got Bublito and Choco Hooligan. Now they're my mods. And I gotta tell you guys, they bust their asses for me. They work super hard for me. And they don't get paid. They don't get anything out of it. And I'm very lucky to have them. They got my back all the time. And I'm very lucky for just, I have so many people to mention. I'm going to lose track. If I don't mention your name and you and I talk fairly often, please don't think anything of it. I'm very, I get so, but I got to tell you, the group of people I got behind me right now, you guys are super and amazing. And I'm lucky. Very lucky. Shimei, or Chimai, or Chime. My question is, how do you go about finding true love? Do you think it comes to you out of nowhere? Or do you have to actively seek it? I was set up on a blind date. And I was planning on breaking up with him. Matt is a rebound from an internet boyfriend. Sweet guy. We just didn't work out. And I fully intended to dump Matthew like a couple weeks into dating. As you can see, that didn't work out. As you can see, that's not exactly how everything went down. But I think when it comes to true love, you have to be open to wherever you might meet somebody. That could be my brother and his fiance. They met through a dating app. My mother and father met because my mother worked in the wicker store downstairs where my dad lived in the building. Love can come from anywhere. So I would say, just be ready. Know what you want. I have actually a video about all this. I made it months ago. Almost a year ago now, actually. You have to know what you want out of a relationship. You have to be prepared to be very communicative. You have to be willing to be open, honest, and discuss things. Don't be afraid to say what you want and say what you mean. And I think you'll be okay. But if you try too hard, or if you cling to the wrong person, that can end up hurting you. So I guess just be careful. And I think, guys, was that all the questions? I think that was all the questions. Let's see. I'm looking. I'm double checking. I'm making sure. I think it was. I think that was all of the questions. So I just want to say one more time, guys. All of this, everything, it's thanks to you all. It's thanks to my friends supporting me, messaging me, helping me out. It's thanks to, I've got 3 particular people, 4 actually, who feature me on their channels. And they did it knowing it would boost up my numbers. Alan Roberts, Ruin Leon, Gothix, and Michelle McDaniel. You guys all very purposely put me in the limelight so I could get that boost. And I thank you very much for it. I thank you very much for taking that chance on me. My friends, my personal friends, and my internet friends, and my follower friends who have either financially supported me, donated items to me like Sean did for the tablet, or Edie, who has been an absolute rock from the get-go. My friend Nikki, who helps keep the Discord going all the time. Bublito and Choco Hooligan, who always have my back and are always ready to entertain you guys. I've got just such a great appreciation for all of this. I appreciate everything you guys have done. I know that I would not be here and financially been able to do a lot of the stuff that I did. I want to thank also, and this is a big one, I want to thank Brian and No System. Because when I needed a job to help supplement all this, Brian immediately offered me one. And without No System, this would have been much more difficult or even impossible to do. So when I tell you guys, I'm very lucky. And also my friend Ray offered me the job to babysit on the side. That helped a lot. You guys don't understand. I think this goes out to all of you. I don't think you understand the blessings that you have in life. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to believe in God if you don't want to. But take the time to double check on your blessings in life. When you're feeling unsupported. When you're feeling like no one's listening. When you're feeling like no one's there for you. Take that moment to really analyze if that's the truth. Because when Penny nearly died a few months ago, back in July, I put out the call to all of you that I would put up emergency commissions. And if you bought into them, you'd be helping me a great deal. And you did. You guys donated extra. And you have been incredibly patient with me. With putting those up. Making that artwork. And, you know, so never think you're alone. Even when it seems like you're alone. You'd be surprised who's willing to come out and help you. This video, I'm noticing, is going on 50 minutes already. And it's not going to be much editing because I didn't do too much extra besides answer questions. But I just want to say, guys, I guess the last thing I could say is just thank you so much. I can't say it enough. Thank you so much for all the support, financially, emotionally, defending me when someone comes into the comments and you guys don't like it, featuring me on your channels, sharing my videos, liking the videos, subscribing to my channels. You guys are amazing. To the people that inspire me to keep making things, to the people who, you know, really sparked my interest in this, Blair, Michelle, Kiana, please never stop doing what you're doing. You guys are absolute gems, and I've had the pleasure to talk with each one of you ladies, and I've gotten to call some of you friends, and I never want that to stop. So just again, this is getting long, this is getting sappy, and I knew it would. You guys will be seeing another portion of this where I am going to do draw my life. But that's gonna get the tablets working first. But I just want to tell you guys, remember to tell the people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe. Guys, I love you. Be safe. Here is to 10,000 more. Thank you again, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.